The story takes place in 1999, during the brutal civil war in Sierra Leone, a conflict fueled not just by politics, but by something far more valuable: diamonds. These stones, mined in war zones, are used to fund weapons and violence, turning natural resources into tools of destruction. We begin with Solomon Vandy, a hard-working fisherman living a quiet life with his family in a small village. His greatest dream is simple: he wants his son to grow up educated and become successful, escaping the struggles he has known. But that fragile sense of peace is shattered when rebel forces from the Revolutionary United Front storm the village. The attack is sudden and devastating. The rebels use fear as a weapon, killing and terrorizing civilians to assert control. Families are torn apart in moments. Solomon is separated from his wife and daughters, while his son is taken away. Solomon himself is captured and forced into a completely different reality, one where survival depends on obedience. He is transported to a rebel-controlled diamond mining camp. Here, civilians are enslaved and forced to dig for diamonds under brutal conditions. The rebels are not interested in people, they are interested in profit. Every diamond found helps them buy more weapons, which only prolongs the war. While working in the riverbed, Solomon makes a discovery that changes everything. He finds an extremely rare and valuable pink diamond, far larger and more perfect than anything usually found. Instantly, he understands its importance. This is not just a stone, it is an opportunity. It could be his only chance to reunite his family and escape the nightmare. Knowing the danger, Solomon secretly buries the diamond before anyone can see. However, a rebel commander notices something suspicious and begins to suspect that Solomon has found something valuable. Before the situation escalates, government troops suddenly attack the camp. In the chaos, Solomon is captured again, this time by government forces, and taken to prison. At the same time, we are introduced to Danny Archer, a diamond smuggler and former mercenary. Unlike Solomon, Danny operates within the system of exploitation. He profits from the chaos, trading diamonds for weapons and navigating both sides of the conflict for personal gain. He is arrested while attempting to smuggle diamonds across the border, landing in the same prison as Solomon. Inside the prison, word begins to spread about a massive pink diamond. The injured rebel commander reveals that Solomon found it, turning him into a target. Danny immediately recognizes the value of such a stone. For him, it represents a chance to finally escape Africa and leave his dangerous life behind. Danny approaches Solomon with a deal. He offers to help him find his family, but only if Solomon leads him to the diamond. At first, Solomon refuses, seeing Danny as just another exploiter. But as the reality of his situation sets in, he realizes he has no other option. He agrees, not out of trust, but out of desperation. During this time, a third key figure enters the story: Maddie Bowen, an American journalist investigating the illegal diamond trade. She is trying to expose how diamonds from war zones are being smuggled into the global market, fueling violence while being sold as luxury goods. She believes that if she can uncover solid evidence, she can bring international attention to the issue. Danny initially uses Maddie for his own advantage, but she begins to see through him. Despite his selfish motives, she senses that he knows more than he lets on. Their relationship becomes complicated, balancing manipulation, distrust, and a growing sense of shared purpose. Meanwhile, the situation in Sierra Leone worsens. The rebels launch attacks on major cities, including the capital, spreading chaos across the country. In the midst of this, Solomon learns a devastating truth: his son has been captured by the rebels and turned into a child soldier. This revelation changes everything for him. The mission is no longer just about the diamond, it becomes about saving his son. Solomon, Danny, and Maddie set out on a dangerous journey across the war-torn country. Their goal is to reach the mining area where the diamond is hidden. Along the way, they encounter the full horrors of the conflict: burned villages, refugees fleeing violence, and children forced into war. Each step of the journey increases the stakes. At one point, they visit a refugee camp where Solomon is reunited with his wife and daughters. This moment provides a brief sense of hope, but it is incomplete. His son is still missing, and the emotional weight of that loss drives Solomon forward. Danny, meanwhile, begins to change. Initially, he is focused only on the diamond and his escape. But as he witnesses Solomon's determination and the human cost of the war, cracks begin to form in his mindset. He starts to question his role in the system and whether he can continue living the same way. Maddie continues her investigation, pushing Danny to provide evidence that could expose the entire conflict diamond trade. She makes it clear that without proof, nothing will change. Danny promises to help, but only after he secures the diamond. Eventually, they reach the region where Solomon buried the stone. But the situation is far worse than before. The rebels have re-established control, and the area is heavily guarded. To make matters more complicated, Solomon's son is now among the rebel forces. When Solomon finally comes face to face with his son, the moment is heartbreaking. The boy has been completely transformed. He has been brainwashed, trained to see violence as normal, and no longer recognizes his father. This is the ultimate consequence of the war, not just physical destruction, but psychological damage. Solomon refuses to give up on him. At the same time, the rebel commander captures Solomon and demands the diamond. Danny realizes that they are running out of time. In a desperate move, he contacts his former associates, mercenaries led by a man named Coetzee, and gives them the location of the camp. This decision triggers a full-scale assault. As the mercenaries attack the rebel camp, chaos erupts once again. In the middle of the battle, Solomon manages to confront his son. Instead of using force, he appeals to his son's memories, reminding him of who he was before the war. Slowly, the boy begins to break free from the conditioning. At the same time, Danny faces his own turning point. He realizes that Coetzee intends to take the diamond and eliminate everyone involved, including him. In a decisive moment, Danny kills Coetzee, choosing to protect Solomon instead of serving his own interests. This is the moment of his transformation. He is no longer just a smuggler, he is someone trying to make things right. However, Danny is seriously wounded during the escape. Despite this, he helps Solomon retrieve the buried diamond. Knowing he doesn't have much time left, Danny makes a final choice. He gives the diamond to Solomon. This decision is significant. Throughout the story, the diamond represented greed, power, and survival. But in this moment, it becomes something else, a chance for redemption. Danny stays behind, unable to continue due to his injuries. As Solomon and his son escape, Danny makes a final phone call to Maddie, asking her to help Solomon and ensure the truth is exposed. He dies alone, but at peace, having finally done something meaningful. Solomon and his son are rescued and flown to safety. Later, Solomon travels to London, where he uses the diamond to secure a better future for his family. With Maddie's help, the transaction is documented, exposing the illegal diamond trade and the corporations involved. The story ends with Solomon speaking at an international conference about conflict diamonds. His journey, from a simple fisherman to a witness of global injustice, highlights the human cost behind the luxury of diamonds.